Here's my attempt of week 1 technical challenge, not so red velvet cake. So today's video we're going to be doing the week 1 technical bake challenge. Now if you guys have caught the Great British Bake Off last week, they did a red velvet cake. I've never made one. I've never even considered baking it. I normally just go to the store and buy it off the shelf or order it, online as from a cake store. But actually I am intrigued as to, how it's going to turn out, what it's going to be like. And it seems quite straightforward. I think cakes are quite straightforward. I normally tend to never go really that wrong or off the tangent with cakes. But I'm really intrigued. I have the infamous white paper instruction here. I had to go through the filming and then kind of pick out all the methods that they spoke about and all the instructions that they that the contestants kind of either read out or whatever the show kind of stipulated. I'm a little bit apprehensive of the instruction and how it's going to turn out because it's so vague. I'm normally expecting Paul Hollywood's cookbook to have really thorough, explanation and instructions. Mary Berry's, even the Great British Bake Off book that I have, and coming to now feel like what the contestants probably will feel like. I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit concerned. I don't have much baking knowledge. I don't bake as much as I think I do compared to all the contestants. So obviously that's something that, is a learning curve. Let's crack on. I've got to go and get some ingredients because for some of the ingredients for red velvet cake, it's not a common ingredient. It's like buttermilk. It's not something I genuinely have. The other thing I don't have is probably mascarpone and cream cheese. Not something that's commonly in our fridge. So let's crack on. Let's go to the shops and grab those ingredients. As you saw, just been to the shops and I've now measured up all the ingredients before starting. Obviously I don't have a food production crew to help me out, so that it might take a little bit longer than the 2 hours given, but I will obviously start the time when I start baking, so obviously it's kind of a fair start. I've measured out all the ingredients. All the measurements to the ingredients and the vague instructions for you guys to try will be down in the description below. So go check that out. Have a go yourself. It's quite fun. Well, I hope it's quite fun. I hope I don't just end up in tears and just give up. I do have a dilemma though. So I bake a lot, but I don't have all the equipment that, the Great British Bake Off production team has. So I'm going to go with a much thinner red velvet cakes and then stack them up. Obviously I'm hoping that they bake nicely and evenly, and maybe a case that I've got to do this, there's 2 actually, so I'd have to do this 3 times, where in the show they've got 3 tins and even in the instruction it says divide batter equally between 3 tins. Now I don't have that, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a makeshift. In fact, I don't think I have a piping bag, so now I'm a bit worried. There's no instructions on it, so I'm assuming it's meant to look a certain way. I don't remember what the red velvet cake looked like. It's been a couple of days since I've watched the show. I watched it live, so I'm gonna have to go from the top of my head. I don't want to cheat, and I want to make it as plain and level field as possible so that no one can catch me out as cheating. I have my phone as a timer, so that'd be great to use that as a timer. I'm a little bit concerned because this has vinegar and bicarbonate soda. I've never used them as a leveling agent, so I'm intrigued as to how that turns out. This is one of my favourite aprons. I actually really do love these aprons. They're really weird to put on because you have to put them like a pair of trousers on. And then kind of slide them up, not so gracefully. Put them on like that. The first instruction is to heat up the oven 200 degrees or 180 degrees Celsius, gas mark 6. And then the first instruction, literally the first instruction, which is the reason why I'm so apprehensive, is make the red velvet batter. I'm definitely going to fuck this up. So vague. Let's crack on. Okay, at first glance, I'm thinking just traditional techniques of cake. beat the egg and the butter and the sugar together so that it's nice and creamy, and then work the liquids together. I might leave the vinegar to the end because obviously by that point the flour and the sugar and the butter would be mixed in and it would no longer be vulnerable to splitting. 2 hours starting now. Okay, cracking in the eggs now, one by one. It's starting to look really nice and pale. I hope it doesn't split. Literally my worst nightmare. Crack an egg. Try and avoid having shells in it. Whee! I'm not sure how you're meant to do this in 2 hours because the cake's got to like cool down. I guess that's why you got to use the fridge. But even this is quite realistic. Maybe it's because they have a KitchenAid, not manpower cakeman. Maybe. Who knows? Yeah, it's not splitting. We are good to go. The buttermilk and the flour can go right at the end, I presume, because you can just add them like in portions. But what do I do with the hot water? It says 6 tablespoons of hot water. Does that dissolve the cocoa powder? Or does that dissolve the bicarbonate soda? Because I still haven't added the vanilla. I might add the vanilla 2 tablespoons. None. Yeah, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract into the batter, which can be done easily. And then what do I do with the cocoa powder? Does the cocoa powder have to dissolve into the hot water or straight into the batter? But then wouldn't the hot water cook the eggs? Why would you add hot water? Why can't you just add milk? Most recipes says milk. Oh shit. Wait, it can't be. Maybe it's to dissolve the hot. I'm going with dissolving the cocoa powder and the salt and the food colouring into salt, the pinch of salt, cocoa powder and the food colouring with the hot water. But normally you just add it straight in. Maybe it's clumpy. You know what? I do not envy the contestants whatsoever. Because the instruction says, make the red velvet batter. I don't have time. I'll go with my gut. I've mixed the vinegar and the bicarbonate soda powder into this already. I think that's what you're meant to do. I think this is how you're meant to do it. Mixing the wet ingredients, I'm going to do the flour and the buttermilk, alternating between the two. I've seen it done on Food Network. It's supposedly meant to work, so I'll stick with it. The chocolate's so dark, how do you know it's red? It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look red. Also, it's splitting, so it's starting to look really sickly. Like it needs help. Right, let's go on with the next step. The flour should fix it. Flour and buttermilk. So bad. It looks like that right now. Let's not pour it. It's very fluffy and light, which I think that's the vinegar bicarbonate soda doing. Line this with grease-proof paper and then obviously stick into the oven. Obviously I had 2 of these, which means I've got to do it 3 times. Maybe less, who knows. But obviously I've got to weigh them out equally. But hopefully, you know, it works okay. Peru and Paul will be proud. I hope. It is bloody good right now. It's not pink or red. I'm so worried that the colour's fucked up. Okay, neat hack is fold the paper 3 times and then fold it half in itself. Draw the circle and then cut the circle. You've got 6 circles. Okay, bake it for however long you think we need. So whilst the cake is cooking in the oven, or baking in the oven, I'm going to hack and attempt to make the icing or the filling, or the cream cheese filling, whatever you want to call it. I have just noticed I've never done this, and I have an assumption that you don't whisk the double cream first because I don't want to. Shit. I think we have an hour and 10 left, so we're doing good for time. First layers are cooking. Well, first 1 and 2 layers are cooking, and I'll put the 3rd, 4th, and 5th and 6th layer, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so what I've done is I've put everything into a bowl, including the icing sugar, all the creams, mascarpone, soft cheese, and the vanilla into a bowl. And what I'm going with the kind of the process of just mixing everything together and hoping that that's how you make this filling, this cream cheese filling. At this point, Kaylee's just winging her life. I think this is how most of this must be how all the contestants feels like, except for me. Like, I have fewer crew members. It's just me, and I still realise I've made such a mess. I've got to clean after. For fuck's sake. Okay, so cream cheese is made. I'm actually bloody chuffed with this. Honestly, it looks so good. I want to dive into it. Once the cakes are out, we'll let them cool and then like start stacking them. I do have a question. Do you crumb the thing you're cutting? Because surely it wouldn't look good because it's obviously browner. I'm not sure how it works. By the way, if these are what I think this is what they would have received in instruction wise, right? This is really cruel. This is so cruel because the 3rd instruction is literally bake. Okay, time is up. I must say this was really difficult just because of the sheer lack of instructions, but I am very impressed with my my red velvet cake for the technical challenge. I would have lost because obviously I didn't follow the instructions. I didn't have enough crumb to make the crumb base, so I just put a little bit at the top just to show that like I tried it. It was not enough crumb anyway. The other thing I will say is that the food colouring let me down a little bit, but I have a huge respect for all the contestants who tried this last week blindly. I know all the challenges will get increasingly difficult, so look forward to more episodes of as the week comes, and I wish all the contestants the best of luck. Let's crack into this. Let's see if I did okay and whether the inside looks amazing. The cake looks stunning inside, but I do want to show you the layers. I think everything went really well actually. Look, looks so good. I think I did really well on that one. I wished the colour just turned out better, and I think even Peru and Paul would have been quite happy with my attempt with the red velvet cake. Look how moist and just succulent and like delicious that is. Let's just try like There you are. Look how delicious that looks. So I'm going to love you and leave you to enjoy this video and enjoy your velvet cake. I hope it works out better, especially the colouring. I think other than that, I think I smashed it. The layers look amazing and I hope you guys enjoy the video. It cooked perfectly. I think I did well. Also, I need to learn how to decorate. God, it looks so rubbish. But anyway, we did it.